Hello, Internet. I am Pastor Recoil, and welcome to my parish. Today is the second Sunday of Easter, and we're going to talk about it. Welcome to Pastor Recoil's Parish, where I talk about some things in the Bible that you may not have heard about in church, either because it's not quite appropriate for all audiences, or it just isn't something that's easy to talk about in a sermon. Today's readings for the second Sunday of Easter are Acts 5:27 through 32, Psalm 118, 14 through 29, Revelation 1, 4 through 8, and John 20, 19 to 31. Today, we get the story of the disciple of Jesus with the most undeserved reputation, Doubting Thomas. I talked last week about the fuzziness of the resurrection and about how important it is that we can't actually prove that Jesus rose from the dead. Today, I want to focus not on Thomas, but on how Jesus responds and how different it is to how Christians often respond to doubts. In John's Gospel's account, it's the evening of Resurrection Day, and Jesus shows up in the room that the disciples had locked themselves in. They were hiding because, well, when you kill the leader of a movement for treason, well, the followers might also be next. Makes sense. But on seeing Jesus, they finally understood that Jesus had actually risen from the dead just like he said he would. But one of the 12, well, 11 at this point, Thomas, wasn't there. And the next day when they told him that they saw Jesus, Thomas said, "Unless I see the nail marks in his hands, and put my finger in the wounds left by the nails, and put my hand into his side, I won't believe." As the disciples go, Thomas tends to go pretty hard. For instance, when Jesus sets his mind to go to Jerusalem, all of the other disciples try to talk him out of it because it was too dangerous. But Thomas says, "Let's just go and die with him." And then later, when Jesus says some confusing stuff about going somewhere, Thomas speaks up with, "Lord, how can we know how to go somewhere if we don't know where that somewhere is?" It's a really good question, I think. And it's a shame that he's best known for not trusting something as out of the ordinary as Jesus rising from the dead. So then a week passes and the disciples are again together and again in a locked room. And this time, Thomas is there. Like last week, Jesus shows up. And unlike what you might expect, Jesus goes right to Thomas and says, "Put your finger here. Look at my hands. Put your hand in my side. No more disbelief. Believe." Jesus doesn't yell at Thomas. He doesn't try to make him believe. He gives Thomas exactly what Thomas asks for. He addresses Thomas's doubt. And I wish Christians would take that lesson from Jesus. It's not a bad thing to doubt. It's not a bad thing to not believe something that seems extraordinary. It is a bad thing to respond to those doubts with gaslighting, blaming the doubter, or other sorts of harm. But that happens depressingly often in Christian churches. Too often when people doubt, they're told that they're just not Christian enough, or they don't have enough faith, or it's just not something we're meant to know, so we shouldn't ask. Or they're told to just ignore it and hope that the doubt goes away. None of those answers are helpful. I think we're supposed to acknowledge and wrestle with the doubts that we have to try to find the answers, even if there isn't a really good answer. I think the search is worth it. So I'm glad for this example from Thomas and from Jesus, because it means it's okay for me to have doubts. And it helps me know how to respond if someone comes to me with questions, with doubts, with unbelief. Not to be dismissive, but to do my best to address those doubts and help whoever is asking me in their search. So if you want to see more content like this, check out the links to my right, or click the logo just below my face to subscribe so you'll know when my next video comes out. Thank you for watching, and take the time this week to love your neighbor as yourself, especially if you don't like them all that much.